Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just want to talk about Glory by Honor 9. That's the first thing I want to bring up here. People have been doing a good job of, promoting the pay-per-view. Looks like it's going to be an amazing show. If you haven't ordered it yet, definitely order it. The same site, GoFightLive.tv. You can order it for $14.95. It'll be an amazing show. It probably won't be as good as Death Before Dishonor 8. I think Death Before Dishonor 8 is one of the shows that's going to stand the test of time. And from top to bottom, this isn't a spectacular show, in my opinion. There's some things that I kind of have a problem with. First thing is Davey Richards and Kenny Omega not making it again. They're both wrestling in New Japan. Well, New Japan, obviously, they have a lot of money. They've had a great year. So, and Davey and Omega are doing some pretty big things over there. They're going to be in some pretty big, high-profile matches. So, but yeah, it just kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth that once again, two of the top 5 wrestlers in the company are not going to make it to the show. So. I don't want to sound like a bitch about it, but it's just kind of disappointing. And the other thing is Eddie Edwards versus Daivari. A lot of people were bitching about this on the ROH message board, and yeah, honestly, I was hoping that Eddie Edwards would get a better opponent. I'm very, very high on Eddie Edwards over the last couple months, and the fact that he's wrestling Daivari kind of puts a I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Daivari. He's going to get booed out of the building. I don't think just because of September 11th. I think they're going to boo the shit out of him because he sucks. I just don't think he's very good. I find his matches very, very tough to sit through. Never been a big fan of him and Muhammad Hassan, even go back to 2005. But he deserves a chance, though. That's one thing I will say. He hasn't really got a chance to shine on the non-HD net shows, so this is a good opportunity for him. So we'll see what happens there. The other match was Christopher Daniels versus Austin Aries added to the show. Very, very refreshing matchup. This has not been overdone. They haven't wrestled that much. And I just think it's a big time matchup. Two of the greatest Ring of Honor superstars of all time going at it. I mean, what more can you ask for? The thing about Austin Aries is that I did not realize is that he's having some neck problems. So that would pretty much explain, the whole character change, him wrestling a little bit more of a methodical style, and him trying to become a manager. So obviously, I hope his neck is good. And he posted on his Facebook that big changes are coming for Austin Aries for his career. So. There's a chance that he might be headed to WWE in the future. I'm not sure, but it'd be great to see Aries stick around, though. So him and James have had a match. If you haven't seen any of their matches before, I think they had a match at TNA Sacrifice 2005, which I have not seen yet. I'm pretty much dying to see that. I'll watch it eventually. But as far as Ring of Honor goes, I mean, they've had some pretty good matches. Their match at Irresistible Forces from 2006, I thought that match was, I thought it was solid. It was like a 3.5-star match, really, really solid match. But I still think they could top it. They never really had the chance to shine and have that great match. And this could possibly steal the show. I highly doubt it would steal the show, but very, very excited for it. This is probably the match that pushed the show over the top. Just like Omega and Daniels was. So yeah, I mean, I don't really want to talk about the rest of the card. People have been pretty much doing a good job of hyping it up. I think maybe. The main event, Tyler Black and Roderick Strong. I'm expecting something epic. I'm expecting the kind of aftermath that CM Punk and Austin Aries had from Death Before Dishonor 3. I really feel like they need to do something special here to make this not very, very predictable. I don't know what they could do, but I'm very, very interested to see what could happen in the aftermath of this match. So yeah, all right. So next up, I want to give you my top 10 Glory of Honor matches. It seems like, to me, that Ring of Honor really hasn't decided on what their biggest show of the year is. It seems like all the shows are pretty much on the same level. Final Battle, Glory of Honor, Supercard of Honor, Death Before Dishonor. I mean, they really haven't picked one show as, their WrestleMania show. So I don't know. I just want to kind of try to add some importance to the Glory of Honor legacy and, talk about, the best matches that have taken place in Glory of Honor history. Now, I've talked about these matches plenty of times. So I'm not going to try to sound like a broken record and break it down match by match and give you a whole detailed thing for every single match. So I'm just going to break it down really quickly. So this is my top 10 Glory of Honor matches of all time. Number 10, I'm going to go with Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels from Glory of Honor 2. This is from 2003. Samoa Joe is a Ring of Honor champion. Him and Daniels probably had one of Joe's best title defenses. Or, Daniels probably brought the best out of Joe. One of Joe's better title defenses from 2003, in my opinion. It was a really, really solid match. Probably the only match worth checking out from Glory of Honor 2. It was not that good of a show. All right, number 9, I'm going to go with Kenta versus Misawa. Michihara Misawa from Glory of Honor 6, Night 2. They brought in Misawa, which was a huge deal in 2007, and him and Kenta went at it. It was a pretty good match. The go to sleep was sick. Sick go to sleep in this match. Misawa gave a pretty good effort. He's pretty old at the time. He was about 43, 42, whatever it was. So he couldn't, don't expect the Misawa from like 94, 95. But, I still enjoyed it. People that weren't really that familiar with him weren't blown away by it. But I still thought it was a very, very solid match. It felt like a big time. It had a big feel to it. I think it probably should have main evented the show. I didn't like the way they booked the main event, which was the Briscoes and Asia to Fall. All right, so next up you have number 8, Kings of Wrestling versus Austin Aries and Roderick Strong from Glory of Honor 592. This is where Aries and Strong lost the tag team titles to the Kings of Wrestling. I thought it was a phenomenal match. Great match. All right, so number 7, I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson versus Nakajima. That was from Glory of Honor 7. A great match. That was when Bryan Danielson was the GHC Junior Heavyweight title champion. So, yeah. Number 6, American Wolves versus Kevin Steen and El Generico from Glory of Honor 8, the final countdown. This is the Ladder War 2. Yeah, I mean, it was still pretty awesome. You had Eddie Edwards with that whole injury thing. I still thought it was a great match. Number 5, you had Low-Ki versus Samoa Joe from the first Glory of Honor. This is Samoa Joe's debut in Ring of Honor. And they probably had like the stiffest match I'd ever seen in Ring of Honor. That was Joe versus Low-Ki. Number 4, I'm going to go with Nigel McGuinness versus Naomichi Marufuji, Glory of Honor 5, Night 2. We all know how good this match is. I think Marufuji was the GHC champion at the time, and a great defense over Nigel. This match made Nigel a star, really, as a babyface, I really think. So that was a great match. Number 3, I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness from Glory of Honor 8, the final countdown. This is Bryan and Nigel's last match. As you guys all know. Number 2, I'm going to go with Danielson versus James Gibson. This is from Glory of Honor 4. This is when Danielson won the Ring of Honor World Championship. That was from 2005. And number 1, obviously, I'm going to go with Danielson versus Kenta from Glory of Honor 5 Night 2. Obviously, that was pretty obvious. So, yeah, that's my top 10 Glory of Honor matches. Just wanted to break it down. So, yeah, just some other things quickly. PWG BOLA 2010. I didn't give you my predictions, but I was thinking maybe Brandon Gatson was probably the guy that needed to win this match. He's a phenomenal talent. He's had some really, really good matches. He's pretty much like the one guy that PWG has that's a homegrown talent that hasn't been, too out there. He pretty much just wrestles on the West Coast, I believe. But yeah, he definitely has the talent. Wouldn't be surprised if he won it, but it's kind of a small risk if people win it. I was thinking maybe they want to cash in and get a lot of DVD sales. So I'm thinking maybe Christopher Daniels will win this thing. I have a feeling Daniels might have won this thing. I think the finals are tonight. I'm not going to read any reviews or spoilers. I'm going to wait like 4 or 5 months for the DVD to come out. So, but yeah, I'm actually going to decide. Christopher Daniels is my prediction for the 2010 Boulder winner. He might have already got eliminated. I'm not sure, but whatever happens, happens. Don't spoil it for me if he got eliminated yet. So my prediction was Daniels for that. What else do we want to talk about? Man Up. Man Up versus Death Before Dishonor 8. I want to know from you guys, what do you think is the better show? Man Up or Death Before Dishonor 8. It seems like there's a little bit of a rivalry going on with that. A lot of people really can't decide what is the better show. I would actually have to say Man Up just by a hair, but I think Death Before Dishonor's the final hour of Death Before Dishonor 8 was better, but I think Man Up was a better show from top to bottom. But at the same time, it's kind of tough to compare because one is like a 3.5 hour pay-per-view, one was only 2, so it's a tough comparison. But I still probably go with Man Up. Okay, yeah, Jericho's retirement. Really quickly, I just want to say I think WWE needs to capitalize on Chris Jericho retiring. I think it can make the company a lot of money. It could bring back a lot of Attitude Era fans to check it out. Because Jericho still has a big following. And, I think it's a mistake if Jericho would just lose the Night of Champions and then retire. I really feel like, maybe you could give him the belt and you could do some pretty big things, heading into the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And maybe he could drop the belt to The Miz, put The Miz over before he leaves. I think his contract expires. Now, I know he came back in November 2007, so maybe his contract would expire in November. Possibly you could have Jericho's last match Survivor Series. I think they need to capitalize on it. This is a big thing. Jericho's going to be 40 years old. There's no guarantee that he might be back in the WWE. So, yeah, I just want to get that out there. The one thing about Sheamus, though, you watch that SummerSlam match, the guy had no heat at all. And I don't think Sheamus deserves to be the champion. He's probably been the biggest turnoff to me as far as the WWE goes since he won the championship at TLC in 2009. he's probably the one guy that I really just put a bad taste in my mouth for the WWE, because I don't think he deserves it. I think he's gotten by on his look, and then I hear things about him working out with Triple H, and I would really just like it if this guy would lose the belt, because I just still think there's better guys out there. I think he's totally overrated as a wrestler. Yeah, he's gotten better. He's grown on me a little bit, but still, to be the champion right now, I think it's kind of pointless. This whole Randy Orton versus Sheamus feud is pretty much unwatchable. Orton chasing for the title right now, it's kind of stale. So, really quickly, No Surrender. I don't think No Surrender looks that bad. I think the pay-per-view could actually be pretty good. You know, a lot depends on Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy. Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy has the potential to be a great match, but, you know, it depends on Jeff Hardy. You know, what Jeff Hardy are we going to get? Are we going to get the motivated Jeff Hardy that had those great matches with Triple H in 2008, or are we going to get the recent Jeff Hardy? I mean, you don't really know, but I guarantee you that Angle will put on a great performance. I think these guys will probably get the main event, because there's no other championship match, and Angle, you know, Angle's kind of slacked in the main event. Victory Road 2009 comes to mind, but which I never even saw that match, but I think Angle and Hardy could have an amazing match. I mean, it's possible. I don't think this is that bad of a pay-per-view. Motor City Machine Guns versus Nigel and Brutus Magnus. It could be pretty good. Kennedy versus the Pope. I think they could definitely top their match from Against All Odds. So I think it looks pretty good. I'm not going to spend the money on it or anything like that, but I just hope Bound for Glory is good this year. I hope they put together a nice, solid card. Since 2006, every single fucking year I've been disappointed with Bound for Glory. So hopefully this year they could put together a nice, solid card from top to bottom that will make people want to order it, because I didn't order it last year, and I finally had a chance to last year, because I was finally home, and definitely could not order it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Glory of Honor 9, everyone to order it, everyone check it out. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. That's pretty much it. Sorry if I went a little bit too long. I wanted to make this as short as possible, but alright, thanks for watching, guys.